It's been a minute, and one of the things that I said when I said I was going to start doing this channel was that I was going to do raw, unedited, the good, the bad, the ugly. And let me tell you, the last month has been part of the ugly. And maybe not in the way that you'd think, but I guess let's dive into it. I failed. One of the biggest things when I started the bald man's journey that I set out to accomplish was sobriety for at least a year, but really I wanted to turn it into a complete lifestyle factor, and for good reason, and I still do. But I made it 134 days, and then I fell flat on my fucking face, and no good reason. I simply just didn't have the willpower or the discipline. One day, it was a day that I felt somewhat lonely, and yeah, I don't know. I told myself the age-old adage of I can just go have one drink, and it was not one drink, and it turned into 4 drinks. And while a lot of people are like, oh, 4 drinks, whatever, well, then for the next week I proceeded to drink every day, and now I'm 8 days back on the wagon. So we're back at it, and I want to touch base on a few things that I've learned clearly over the last 3 weeks specifically, but we'll just say the last month. Right. Drinking freaking sucks. No, like legit. It's fun very briefly in the moment. It can be stress relieving. It can be, anxiety reducing, all that jazz, whatever. But it sucks. And my reason why I think it sucks the most isn't even the obvious one. Sure, sucks the next day. Health-wise, you put weight on. You don't make as good decisions. But the biggest issue that I have with alcohol is it clouds your view of the future. It limits your ambitions, and it makes everything seem a lot smaller, as well as a lot harder to reach. Like, even in the 1 week that I started drinking again, I mean, immediately my business started suffering. Immediately I stopped thinking about the goals and aspirations that I had set for myself when I started the bald man's journey. So, anyways, alcohol sucks. 2. It is extremely important to have an ego that is big enough that you refuse to accept failure for what failure is. But it's also so important to have an ego that is humble enough that you don't dodge admitting failure and admitting that you need to improve or be better. And 3, along those lines, I think the quicker you get at admitting defeat and at admitting failure and realizing that you have to start over and you're okay with starting over, the quicker you get at rebounding and getting back on track. So I think being able to eat the lessons and truly treat everything as a lesson. I've used the terminology that life is a video game, and one of the things that I've been self-reflecting on is that in video games, when you mess up and you fail, a lot of times you'll have to restart the level. But what you never have to do is restart the entire game. And in life, I feel all too often, at least speaking for myself, a lot of times when I make large mistakes, you start to go down this pit in depression and self-reflection of like, oh, I have to start all the way over. Oh, that's the end of it. No, you don't restart the game, you restart the level. For example, failing on sobriety, it doesn't take away the 134 days that I was sober. It just means that I have to restart the calendar on adding on to that. But it doesn't negate the fact that I did that. It doesn't negate that part of the gameplay. It doesn't take away my progress and my success and my learning lessons along the way. So one of the last overarching concepts that I really started to lock in on, that I've been locked in on, but I really reframed for myself, is that I've said for a long time, and I'm not the first one to say it, but I've said for a long time that you have to kill the person you are to evolve and become the person you want to be. And this is what I started to realize for myself as I got to that 130-day mark, you know, of sobriety. I was kicking ass in business. I was kicking ass physically. I was kicking ass in my sobriety battle. I was doing great. I was crushing it in all aspects. My routine was good, everything. I started getting a little bit complacent. I started getting comfortable, and I started thinking that I could handle it without all the different things that I was doing to get myself there. And so one of the things that I have come to realize for myself is that you can't become afraid of killing every version of you. Like, I made a new commitment to myself that I'm gonna become my own mass murderer, because every time I level up and I start evolving, that's not gonna take me to the man that I wanna be. And it's gonna take me a long time to get there. The bald man's journey is not gonna be this short event. And so it's gonna be key for me to lock in and be comfortable with killing myself, killing the man I wanna be over and over and over. So to sum up a lot of what I said and what I've learned, everyone in the beginning that doubted me thus far has been right. I had people that laughed when I said I was going to go sober the whole time. I had people that laughed when I said I was going to post content weekly, which I haven't. I mean, I think this will be the first video I've posted in probably 2 months. Everybody's been right. But my ego is way too big to accept that. So I'm going to double down on everything. I'm going to double down on my routines. I'm going to double down on I'm going to double down on my routines. I'm going to double down on my fitness. I'm going to double down on my work. I'm going to double down on everything. And I have a lot of content ideas and a lot of things that have been coming into my mind. So hopefully I'll be putting out more stuff here shortly. And I'm also going to be more dedicated about putting out quality content. Not just, again, like this video will just be me talking. But that's because I had to turn the camera on and get back into it. It's been intimidating me making this video. So 134 days, fell on my face, got back up. So I stayed down for about a week, got back up, and we're back in the fight. And today's day 8, and like I'm just now feeling, when I talk about how alcohol consumes your ability to, your ambition and your ability to see the future and see potential, I'm just now getting back to where I feel like I'm ready to get back in the race after 8 days of sobriety. So we're back at it. Stay blessed. Stay locked in. Nobody fucking cares. Work harder. Peace.